Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, peopleofdistinction.org, for more info, or you can email me at benji@alcoleenterprises.com. Now, on the line with us today, we have none other than Dr. Salar Khan. We'll be discussing his new book, Am I Burned Out at Work? A Self-Care Solution, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Dr. Salar was brought to us today by none other than Authors Avenue Publishing. If you have a book that you'd like moved, move it through Authors Avenue. And without further ado, since we do have him on the line, Dr. Salar, thank you so much for being a guest here on People of Distinction today. How are you?
Fine, I'm good. Thank you so much for this interview.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, without further ado, because I know our audience members are waiting for that in anticipation, tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, I wrote this book and it was published last year, October. And the reason why I wrote this book, because I was reading article in a newspaper indicating that its statistics indicated from 2015-2016 that more than 400 physicians, they are committing suicide each year. So ultimately, I feel very sad because I'm also physician, doctor, and hospital administrator, and all those capacity I work. And I feel sorry because they are highly qualified and professional people and they are committing suicide. So ultimately, I try to look into this matter and I check with the other leaderships also about the burnout issues and problem. They say that it really very high rates of the burnout, and it is very common among the professional people, human resource peoples, and social workers, teachers, lawyers, engineers, and caregivers, and there are police officers also involved, and healthcare CEOs, and nurses and residents. So all those people, they are involved in this early phase and late phase of the burnout. And most of the time it remains unnoticed and they don't know what is going on. So ultimately, I was also myself, when I was working in Saudi Arabia, was the victim of this early burnout. And because of too much extra work at the work and all those things, and as a clinician, and my responsibility as a chief of medicine and director of medical services and hospital directors, gradually it was increasing. So ultimately, I also feel the same way, frustrated and all. And while our physicians and all other these professional people, they feel when they are at work. So ultimately, I find my own way to correct myself. And later on, I will tell you how I did myself to control my burnout without any medication, without any treatment or anything else. So ultimately, these things make me inspired to write a book and to give some heads up and self-care solution to the wide audience, the people, professional peoples, and there are so many things. And I noticed that when it's a change reaction, the burnout is a change reaction, and it comes through the internal conflict. And either it is a work-related employee and employer conflict also, or it may be a unrealistic desires, lofty expectations, or a very high expectation, or expectations outstrip the reality. And these factors lead to the severe stress as well as lead to the frustration, overwhelming situation, tension, anxiety. And then if it is not corrected, ultimately it leads to the severe burnout.
Wow. So, I mean, that is profound. Now, Dr. Salar, just to make sure that I'm correct in what you're saying, did you say that statistically there was about 400,000 documented suicides? Either not directly related, but closely related to this stress and this burned out feeling. Is that correct? 400 each year. That is alarming. Now, in a capitalistic society like America, I mean, it's not too far-fetched, of course, to see that and to believe that. But when you actually put the numerical value there aside that is, oh my goodness. So now, what was, I think it's clear to see you coming from the physician background that you come from. And also you stated yourself that you felt somewhat like you were starting to get burned out in your work when you were doing in Saudi Arabia. So the inspiration behind this book, was this something that started more as a self-care book that you felt you needed yourself, and then it expanded to a thing that you could actually help others with? Was that the inspiration behind the book?
That's true. Yeah. Because I find my way and I find myself the self-care solution, and it is very much successful. And I was totally burnout free. And then I was working a lot of other organizations at top levels and very high pressure and high tension environment and meeting so many deadlines and multitask projects and everything as an administrator by using my MBA also. So ultimately, I'm very much good in that way, and I never have any performance issue or efficacy issue at the work because the burnout is an occupational disease. Recently, it is mentioned in this ICD-11, and this is because the people, they feel stress. They have a lot of expectation. They have a lot of college tuition fee and debt, and these are all professional people. So ultimately, they have impact their mind that how they are going to get that money and when they will pay it off everything. So that is another underlying pressure and tension. And the job is also there is too much stressful and too much demanding. So ultimately, they all feel that they are under stress, and this is lead to early phase of the burnout. So ultimately, these things are very important to address those issues, and that's why I write this book and I wrote different methods how to reduce your stress and how to control your negative thinking and convert into the positive thinking. There are different things. If there is any conflict, how to talk to your supervisor to resolve the issues. If you are lacking in some kind of skill and you cannot match the performance and you are always worried about your meeting the deadline and all those things at the work or the goal achievement. So how to split your task into the smaller units and ultimately after completing all tasks and getting positive outcome, feel happy inside your heart. So ultimately don't think about any reward from any organization or anything else. You are the best judge yourself. You are doing your all hard work and sincerity at the work for the benefit of the organization and institution. So ultimately, I feel myself in my heart very happy and content that I am doing good job and I'm okay with that one. Either other people recognize it or not, who cares? Absolutely. But I'm happy, and then my motivation will be high as soon as I'm getting a positive outcome. My dopamine is releasing more, and I getting more energy and more power. And then I'm looking for new project, new complex issues to resolve at work, and all those things. So it is ongoing process. So once we have to teach our mind and train our mind how we can achieve all those impossible things to make it possible. And once you are getting on those things, then you are okay. And then all hurdles and difficulties, it become very simple, very easy for you. And you are approaching and you are getting success in your life and you feel more happy at work also, as well as at home also. Your family environment is good, your home environment is good. And every day you are going with some target to achieve on that day. And in that way, when you go to the work, you are not going to think from where to start. You go and start your work, and after each segment completion, you feel happy that you have accomplished something today and learned something new today. So Absolutely. That's the way.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, everything that you're saying, Dr. Salar. And guys, just a quick side note again. We're on the line here with Dr. Salar Khan discussing his book, Am I Burned Out at Work? A Self-Care Solution, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. And, what I find so profound about everything that you're saying and about this book in particular, Dr. Salar, and, you hinted towards your state of mind, right? And your overall positivity, your positive outlook. And that is something that, prior to our engagement, this is really something that I've always tried to strive towards, right? A positive outlook that way. And I'm a very firm believer that your perception creates your reality, okay? And it all starts with your state of mind. And being of a positive mind state, you'll then start to see a bunch of positivity in your life and things will follow suit that way. And of course, it's never just solely thinking it, but it definitely starts there, and that has a big volume and a big chunk of it. So hearing you say that is definitely something that is validating for me, and I'm sure every one of our audience members here that will be listening in our human family here at People of Distinction, they'll be able to pull things from that as well. So that's fantastic. I mean, thank you so much for bringing this to us. And really the last question that I want to ask, specifically geared towards this book here, Dr. Salar, is if there's one thing, I mean, obviously this book is profound in so many different levels and it has so much to offer. But if there's one thing that you can really boil down for our audience here at People of Distinction, and there's one thing, one message that you really want them to be able to take from this interview, what would that message be?
Yeah, the only single message is to control your negativity wherever you work, either at home or institution, organization. And there are different types of the peoples at work everywhere, and they have different expectations and they have a different thinking. But the only thing is that always try to maintain the positive attitude and try to get something negative thinking, convert into the positive thing, make it control and make it positive and make it your strength. And in that way, you can proceed. And by doing that practice, which I have done it for at least 2-3 years. And then I was the most successful doctor, leader, as well as any profession, wherever I work in my career. I mentioned in my book, I was very confident and I have a self-confidence. I have a clarity of mind. And when I'm thinking in a positive way, I'm just forgive everyone, whoever they have a negativity or something and try to hurt me. I don't care. I forgive because I don't want to waste energy for different cross-questioning in my mind, why it happened and why it is and why it is. It is not the part of my life. I don't want to waste. I want to put my energy in a positive way and get something good out of that. And then I am focused what I want to do in my short-term and long-term goal. And I am continuing that one. As soon as I'm moving forward and my outcome at my organization is always 100% results. So ultimately, I'm completing all projects before time because it is my clarity. I have a self-confidence. I'm accepting challenges and the curiosity lead to discovery. So I'm working on those lines and channels, and every day I'm improving myself, how I can be a better person, better human being, and do something good for the humanity. Either they are suffering from any disease or illness or burnout, I have a special sympathy for them. And in that part, I treated several people. They are having an early phase of burnout or late phase of burnout. I treated them, I managed them. And then even though at that time I did not aware about this burnout, but I diagnosed one case in 1983-87, and the patient having asthmatic attack. And then I took a detailed occupational history. He was a banker. He was holding a top position. He was under stress and pressure and so many things. Whenever he has a big pressure, he is stimulating and precipitating his asthmatic attack. And then I manage and I give him a relaxation, psychotherapy and all those things. And he was good at the end of that treatment. So these are the things which we have time to time address. And then in my book, there is also a very good thing. We have a self-evaluation tool, and primary care physician, they can also quickly evaluate the patient who is coming with some anxiety or something to make sure, taking their occupational history, and they can screen right away. And the manager, they know that their employee, they are not working good, they are not achieving the target, they are not meeting the deadlines or goals at the work. He can screen right away that person quickly, and then he can find if there is anything and they need to help to advise to go to the doctor or treatment and management. In that we are helping the people. So ultimately this is a wide thing, and when the people start reading, really they will love to learn. And there is also in this book, in the beginning I wrote a poetry also about the burnout. So it is also another media, so the people can be attracted when they listen this poetry and they can read, they can better have a good idea about the burnout and themselves, and then they can apply all those things whatever written in the book. Right. And then they can easily self-diagnose, and then they can see where they go for the treatment and management.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much again, Dr. Salar. This has been just absolutely enlightening on so many different levels. Now, before we end here on the show, I know that there are other books. There's at least one other book that you've written and one that you're getting close to completion. Go ahead and let our audience here know at People of Distinction what is your previous book that you've written and the one that you're working on now, and give us a quick concise synopsis of that so they can go ahead and keep a lookout for those as well.
Yeah, so my first book was The Leadership. That is the title, Unlocking the Natural Born Leader's Ability, and autobiographical expose. And it was published March 2017. And this book also received a couple of awards also. And this book is based on my 50 years experience and observation. And I learned the basic things from my mother and father. And they teach me how to organize yourself and how to keep your time management and clarity of mind, how to achieve the goals, and all those things which I got it from my early childhood from 12 to 15, 16 years age. And that is groundbreaking for me for the whole of my life. And I follow still all those things. When I did any mistake, my parents reassured me, you can do it. If nothing is impossible. So on that basis, I wrote this book as a leadership. And my philosophy in this book is that everybody born equal and everybody is having a hidden potential and talents to become a leader. But we have to put ourselves forward to get involved into the complex issues and complex projects and to see either I have a hidden talent to perform those work very nicely, easily or not. And in that way, we can take it out the new dimensions and new area of the abilities and capabilities to perform well at work, at home, or anywhere. And in that way, the mind is trained, and ultimately we are getting a novel idea, novel thought for the complex issues, for the betterment of the world. So basically, this is the book, and it provides heads up to the families and their kids how they can train and how they can teach the leadership abilities from the very beginning. And in that way, if they have a clear idea, clear concept, and more positive attitude, positive thinking, they are going to be a good citizen of that particular country, wherever they are live. And my third book is, I'm writing on it, and it's almost done. And it is about the global leadership. And that is about this shaping of the global leadership, and that is for the betterment of the world. I want to see the good leaders conducting and holding the positions as a prime minister or the top level as a president, and they are fully competent and confident, good enough to take care for the humanity, for the betterment of this entire world, and they can do something good for the poverty, for the poor people. And they promise they are democratic and they are coming into the power through the democratic way, but they never take care the poor people or other general human beings. So that is my concern, and I want to highlight in that way, and I'm going to suggest something very positive and crucial for the world leader, how to resolve the complex issues and avoid conflict, to put something in the war or disturb the peace of the world. So that is all about.
Beautiful. Well, there you have it, guys. So we talked about, we're again on the line with Dr. Salar Khan. We were spending the majority of this interview talking about his book, Am I Burned Out at Work? A Self-Care Solution. Again, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. He just talked about a book that he had written called Unlocking the Natural Born Leader's Ability, an Autobiographical Expose. And a third book that he is currently in the works that will be out shortly. Not only can you find it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but you can also find more information on Dr. Salar Khan or his books at his personal website. And his personal website is drsalarkhan.com. That's going to be doctor spelled out fully, DOCTOR, Salar, SALAR, Khan, KHAN.com. Doctor, thank you again very much for being here with us on People of Distinction. And, as I go into my closing reflection, this has been such an enlightening interview. This is definitely a moment in time that we're, as a human family, not just here in the States, we're feeling a lot of stress, right? Given the fact that, a lot of people, I think at this point in time would actually relish being stressed out from work, since there are so many people out of work at the moment. But this is such an amazing book, whether you're in work or you're out of work. I know it's specifically geared towards the work and the overwhelming stress that you are feeling given the work environment. But I personally feel, and just from talking to you, I think that there's been a lot of techniques and a lot of value, whether you're receiving that stress from work or not, just overall stress and how to deal with it. And I think that it's a beautiful message you've been able to bring to our table today. So thank you so much, Dr. Salar. I mean, this has been a very enlightening interview, and we truly appreciate it here at People of Distinction.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and I hope people try to learn something from all these books, and they can have a better career, better life, and we can have a better environment throughout in the world as a leadership. Thank you.